breaking down some notable scores from last week. Louisiana Tech just extended its home court win streak to a whopping 26 games and took sole possession of first place in the Conference USA race.
Well, they were picked to win the conference, and I think everybody understood that when they returned 4 starters on the team. Now they've won 3 straight. They're a game up on UTEP, but they got an important game coming up, obviously, with UTEP on February the 26th. That could be a showdown. Louisiana Tech won the first meeting between the two, so it's a must-win situation for UTEP. But Louisiana Tech is on a roll right now, and if you have to go there, which UTEP will on February the 26th, that is a tough game to play. But right now, Louisiana Tech in the driver's seat because they have the tiebreak with UTEP.
Well, and speaking of UTEP, they have now won 6 in a row.
And I think the key for them is Vince Hunter is finally getting healthy. I mean, you look at what he has done, and you go back to when they played at North Texas. He was playing on one leg. He had a major knee injury. He was trying to fight his way through it, never looked explosive, but now when you see him, he's got a little more pop in his step. He's playing a lot better, and when he plays better, that team is a lot better.
Well, you're just setting this all up for me. North Texas now matched its best comeback in school history as the Mean Green was down 21 in the second half and defeated Middle Tennessee 57-56.
I'll tell you what, Tony Benford has done a great job. I can't figure this team out. Now they've won 2 straight. At times you look at the team and you say, these guys are outstanding. They can really play great basketball. Then they don't play so hot. Right now they're playing very, very well, and I think that's given this team confidence. Tony Benford's a good basketball coach. He has been around a long time, and I think he's got these guys believing they can play with anybody in the league right now. And if you've got North Texas on your schedule, because of the fact North Texas is so athletic, they've got some great young players, I'd be a little worried because they could pull an upset anytime.
Of course, I mean, they're certainly the dark horse in this
league.
Oh,
absolutely they are, but that's the kind of teams that scare you.
Well, now on to Rice. They've won 3 in a row with the last 2 in double overtime against good teams in UAB and Middle Tennessee. Rice senior Seth Gearhart dropped 32 to better his career high of 31 that he had in the win over WKU. But this is the Owls' first 3 games CUSA win streak since the 2006-2007 season, and Rice has improved their league record to double that in the past 2 seasons, sitting at 6-6 in CUSA action.
Well, I tell you, you look at the Rice team, and I've talked to about 4 or 5 different Conference USA coaches. They all say the same thing. Rice is going to come out and play hard. You've got to be prepared. Forget about the record. I know they're 6-6 in the conference, but this is a team that's a lot better than that. And one of the reasons, they're in the top 20 3-pointers made in the NCAA. I've talked a lot on the air, and so have my analysts, about the 3-point shot as a great equalizer. And right now, because of that, Rice is beating teams, and they're playing very well right now, and they're a bunch of smart kids, obviously. Just look at their majors. So they understand where they are in the standings right now, and they're a team also, along with North Texas and UAB. If you're playing them in the final couple weeks of the season, you better come ready to play because these guys are going to play hard.
Now, Ron, let's take a look at the top 6 teams in the standings. The top 4 will receive that first round bye like we talked about at the beginning of the show in the CUSA Championship March 11th through 14th in Birmingham. But what about those top 4 teams right now?
Well, the top 4 teams, I think obviously Louisiana Tech and UTEP, they're pretty much set in the top 2 seeds. I mean, there's a chance they could lose. But if you look at Western Kentucky, UAB, ODU, UTSA, and Rice, I mean, you think about who's going to get into that number 4 spot. And right now, Rice has a chance, UTSA has a chance, ODU has a chance, everybody within 2 games in the loss column. And that is huge going into the final couple weeks of the season. And right now, it's going to be who's going to have that intestinal fortitude, who's going to stay away from injuries. You got to have a little luck. I mean, you got to have talent, obviously. The schedule's got to be for you, but you also have to have a little luck on your side right now and stay injury-free. And right now, there's teams like UTSA. Nobody gave them a second thought. And right now, Brooks Thompson's done a good job of getting this team in position. I mean, they're only a couple games out of that 4th spot. It's going to be a great final couple weeks of the season.
Absolutely, and I mean, I like to say you're always as good as your bench.
That's exactly right, and who's going to have that bench? Because now teams are only playing 7 guys. Some teams play 8. Not too many teams go deeper than that, but you've got to have everybody compete, everybody play their role, and everybody step up. And I think who's going to do that the final couple of weeks of the season? That's a question we'll have to have answered.
Well, speaking of those final weeks, taking a look at the schedule, big game on Sunday, February 22nd, WKU at Middle Tennessee. That's a huge matchup right there.
I'm excited because that's a game that I'm going to be calling, and I'm looking forward to it because, first of all, the fans at Middle Tennessee are outstanding. You look at the crowds they get for the women's side. They get the great crowds also for the men's side. They are knowledgeable people. They love coming to the basketball game, and this is a little rivalry. Think about it. They're about an hour and a half from each other right now. This is the only meeting they're going to have between these 2 teams, and there is so much riding on it right now, and it's how are they going to prepare for this? You know, it's a rivalry game. In rivalry games, you throw the records out. You throw them out because there's going to be a lot of emotion, and I think the key for both teams, especially the home team, Middle Tennessee, that emotion is going to be high. But when the emotion leaves, you still have to execute, and that's going to be the key in this basketball game. Who is going to maintain their composure, and who's going to execute in those crunch times?
I can feel your energy right now.
Oh,
it's going to be pumped up for
that
game.
I love going to Middle Tennessee. I mean, I love doing the women's games there and the men's games just because the fans are so good, the coaching staffs are great, the atmosphere is good. I can't wait. It's going to be a fun day.